Hello and welcome to the second episode of Easy NASCAR Stats. Expect episodes of the Cup Series part of my podcast to come out every week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, let's run through the top three of last week's race, the Auto Club 400 at Auto Club Speedway. In third place came Kurt Busch in the number 1 Chevrolet. Second place, Kyle Busch in the number 18 Toyota. First place, Alex Bowman in the number 88 Chevrolet. After winning at Chicagoland last year, this is his second career NASCAR win. So he has brought the 88 to victory lane once again. Now the news of the week. On Monday, we had many new things about the next gen car come out. Many news, different features of it. William Byron got to test it at Auto Club after the race, or on Monday and Tuesday, I believe. So, a big part of the news was the single center lock nut that is being implemented for next year's car. So I'm going to start off with a quote from John Probst. He is NASCAR's Senior Vice President of Innovation and Racing Development. So he had this to say about the new lug nut. The steel wheel is more forgiving and can handle loose wheels a little bit better. When we get to the aluminum wheel, we did some durability studies, and if you leave lug nuts loose on an aluminum wheel, you reduce the durability of the wheel by around 30%. It's more of the aluminum wheel has less tolerance to loose lug nuts, so when we have one, there is actually only one thing to concentrate on, and that is to get that lug nut tight. Then everything else from a durability standpoint is fine. He went on to say, one of the things when you look at the single nut, it actually is retained in the socket. So they'll actually use the same single wheel nut for the entire race and likely multiple races. They'll use the same lug the entire time, so the concept of gluing lug nuts to tires goes away, which creates some efficiencies for us. There's times when we have to open the garage or pit road early on race day for no other reason than for the race teams to glue up 11 sets of tires. They can just use the wheels as they are without being glued. And I'll leave a link in the description to that article off of NASCAR.com. Now, this all here really just makes sense to me, I gotta be honest, because when they're coming out with a larger tire, from a physics standpoint, I have a basics of engineering, and what I just read there, it really does make sense that they should go with a single lug nut. I personally don't see it as a big deal. I mean, there are those people out there that do, and I can understand where you're coming from, but most other sports do it anyway, and in my opinion would be it's fine, but I guess everybody has their own opinion on that. And another thing this week, or for the last few weeks I guess now, the Kyle Busch bounty. I have to mention down here. I'm sure for Cup drivers it's a hard bounty to pass on, the Harvick's bounty that he came up with. However, I must mention, as I'm sure most of you know, it is expensive to run any kind of racing, even a truck. Kyle Busch on Barstool Sports, Rubbing His Racing, as a kind of threw at a price of what he figured it would cost for somebody to rent a truck from him, which is the best truck out there. He kind of threw out $140,000 as a price to rent a truck. And when you think about it, you're only getting, if you would beat Kyle Busch in the truck race, like from a Cup Series driver standpoint, if you beat Kyle Busch, you get $100,000 from Kevin Harvick and the other guy. I forget his name now. The Gander Outdoors Truck Series guy. Vice President? I'm not even sure now what he is. But anyways, you get $100,000 from them. You get maybe $30,000 because you're most likely going to have to win the race to beat Kyle Busch. That only comes to $130,000. And if it costs $140,000 to rent a good truck that is capable of beating him, from a mathematical standpoint, financial standpoint, does not make sense. But I'm sure they just want to do it for the fun of it, right? So Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott have already been announced as contenders for this. Chase Elliott will be running 2 races for GMS Racing in the number 24 truck, and then Kyle Larson will be in one race in that number 24 truck for GMS Racing also. This should be fun to watch. I'm not sure if they do really stand a chance against Kyle Busch, but then again, I'm actually quite excited to watch those races. Who's all ready for the FanShield 500 ISM Raceway? It's scheduled for March 8th for 3:30 p.m., so make sure you're ready for that race. My pick for the weekend, Kyle Busch won here last year in this race. Denny Hamlin won the fall last year. And, I mean, Chevrolet wasn't quite so hot here last year. They didn't do very good. But they've been a lot better recently, like they won last week. So I'm very tempted to choose a Chevy driver. I'm thinking Alex Bowman may be able to go back to back, but there's a Ford driver, Ryan Blaney, that I kind of have to watch recently. Like he's been the last few weeks, or even since the 500, he's been picked as a contender for the championship. So my opinion or my pick for this weekend would be Ryan Blaney. I really do think he's been close the entire time. I really think he's gonna be able to come through and win this time. So that's my pick for this weekend. All right, thanks for listening. Be sure pay attention for next week Wednesday's podcast for the Xfinity Series podcast. It's coming out next week Wednesday at 6 p.m. So make sure you get ready for that. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. I will leave a link to my Patreon page in the description. Please, if possible, help me out. It'd be highly appreciated. I'd like to get more equipment for this show. So if it is possible, please help me out on there. Are you going to the race, or who do you think will win? Comment below, let me know. Do you think NASCAR's next gen car will work? Do you think it will be race worthy? Also, do you think Kyle Busch will be beat? Do you think somebody will be taking that bounty from Kevin Harvick? Let me know below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But for now, goodbye.